What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to Huddle Up and WAIT. Woo! Week 1 is around the corner. I'm so excited. And with me tonight, as usual, Dave Steger, and joining us is good friend of the show, Lori Fitzpatrick.
Welcome.
How we doing tonight?
I'm fantastic. How are you guys doing?
It's not an alcohol night. I got work tomorrow. I got to drink water. So, yeah, I know.
I'm actually working a 40 this week. I feel pretty good.
No overtime for you? Wow.
No. You know that Randy Marsh meme? Like, I didn't hear a bell. That's how I felt this week. I'm done. I'm out of it. I was asked to work overtime. I was like, no. I need a mental break and a physical break, and just a break. So, enough about work. Let's talk about this.
One day away, football.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Every year we get to this point where like football's like right there, and it's like, holy crap, we made it. I feel like the off season's like drags out sometimes. It's like you're all constant like talking about what's going to happen. So like it's like we finally made it, almost like Christmas Day. So Dave, you want to give us a little bit about what's been happening around the league?
Yeah. We've actually had some busy news today and kind of everything. So Lamar Jackson gives a contract deadline. He said this Friday, if I don't receive an extension offer, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to stick to the season, and we can talk about it in the offseason.
Which is smart. No distractions during the season.
He's not a guy that BS's. He shoots straight up, and he says, if you don't have an offer, we're going to play football. It's too easy.
Well, let's be honest. Part of the major reason for that is probably because he doesn't have an agent.
That's Smith, same thing.
Yeah. So it's probably because he doesn't have time to do all of his duties as a quarterback and do the whole contract situation. Makes sense.
Smart. And that's the thing. It says the deal isn't imminent. So that means they're not even on the same scale. Russell Wilson's extension didn't do Lamar any favors for guaranteed money. So I mean, there's that as well.
Right.
So, I mean, Ravens are using that as a stepping stone because now Russell Wilson's the second highest paid quarterback.
Right.
And you can't say, well, I want the same money as him because he has a Super Bowl to his name.
Right. Yeah.
Lamar doesn't. Yeah. So, I mean, there's that. And then moving on, there's Dawson Knox gets a big extension before his game tomorrow night. I believe it was like 4 years, $39 million guaranteed, around $51 million total. So
really
he gets
surprising.
They believe in his upside is what it is and what he can do, but he always is injured. That's the thing. He's got to stay healthy.
He just hasn't put up the numbers. I know he's been an integral part of that offense, but it just feels like 288 yards last year or 587 last year. And doing 80. And I know tight ends take a little bit to develop, but man,
3-4 years generally, but it's just they're locking him up because of his upside in it. But I looked at the contract, and they can get out of it early if they feel he's not living up to it. Mm-hmm. So they won't eat a lot of dead money until the back end of the contract.
Well, when Gabe Davis steps up and takes over, I think that's
Gabe Davis is going to annihilate. I think Gabe Davis is going to take over the reins.
I'm telling you guys now, anybody who has him on their fantasy team is going to definitely relish this year. I got him in one of my leagues. I don't know which one.
I got him 4 out of 6. So, yep.
He down the stretch. Didn't he lead the team in receiving touchdowns or something like that? I had to look it up, but
he was 3rd or 4th in the league in the last 8 games. He just tore it up in the end zone.
Yeah, and I like I said, there's a front of the show. Vincent Reacts on Twitter, a UCF guy. He loves Gabe Davis. Put me on to him, and I'm like, man, this kid looks like legit. And of course, he goes to the Bills, so of course I have to watch him twice a year. But
that's what you deserve for loving
to us. Huge upside.
Moving on, J.C. Jackson will not play week 1. So a big free agent that the Chargers acquired. That's a biggie because J.C. Jackson and Chris Harris were supposed to be that big combination out in L.A., and now J.C.'s not there, and Chargers are going to have a little bit harder matchup. Zach Wilson will not play for the next 3 weeks. So Joe Flacco, the old Ravens, taking the seat for 3 weeks.
Let me add to that real quick. They said the earliest he'll be back is week 4. So that's not even guaranteed yet either. So
I'm just saying that because that's what Rappaport put out. Right. Damn it, Dad.
But I mean, we saw Ryan Tannehill go through that knee injury, and then it was like he tried to come back, and then it just got worse, and he sat out the entire year. Honestly, it's what we talked about with Matt Stafford early in the season. I would rather the kid just rest, just go get the surgery he needs. Don't destroy your knee more than it has to be, because I think that really like set Ryan Tannehill back. And I just think if you're going to do it, just get surgery. Don't try to bypass anything, because if not, you're just going to end up re-injuring it. But we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, for his sake, he doesn't get hurt further.
Yeah. Rams are closing an extension for tackle Rob Havenstein. He's their next big guy they need to lock up, make sure they can be one of those block ends for Matthew Stafford, because we've seen what Matthew Stafford is without an offensive line, and he was a crash test dummy in Detroit for about 11 years. Was he not? I mean, he got hit left and right up there.
You just said it so sincere.
I felt bad for him. The NFL executives did a vote, and Josh Allen is the NFL MVP favorite right now, which is not surprising. But
no,
God, a little shade to my guy Aaron. He's won it 2 years in a row. Give him some respect. NFL execs also picked Myles Garrett as the Defensive Player of the Year. He's talented. I like him, but TJ Watt's still that dude.
I'm going to say, did TJ Watt just disappear?
I mean, what about Micah Parsons? I mean, listen, he was defensive rookie of the year, but he could have been defensive player of the year.
Right. And he played in a position he didn't even play in college. I mean,
he had to switch back multiple times last season.
Yeah. And dude, I was unsure about him because I'm like, well, I don't know. There's a lot of like rawness and sporadicness in his game film at Penn State, but holy hell, I did not see the pass rusher he was going to become.
They flashed it, but they always kept him off ball because of how good he was in coverage and how good he was at stopping the run as an off ball linebacker. So
you usually don't see that with guys like him. You usually see guys like him, they can either blitz and rush or they can cover. They don't do it all like he does. I can't wait to watch what he develops into.
Yeah.
Last piece of news, Lori career ears, Jason Peters, the former Eagle, went to Dallas. I still can't believe it's going to be weird seeing him in blue and white.
How could he do that?
I don't know. He was talking trash about Dallas the entire time he never played for him, and now he's like, Jerry's like, here, I'll give you $1 million or $10 million 1 year.
I mean,
fresh in that hat, man. I was like, damn.
He had it already too, so he was sitting there smiling. Jerry probably handed him a blank check, and Jerry's like, listen, we have no one else. Just put in whatever you want.
And did he even play a full season last year?
Yeah, he played with Chicago, and he actually
played the full year.
He was actually a top 15 left tackle last year with Chicago.
He's been so impressive throughout his career, and I know, like, to me, it still feels like desperation for Dallas, but I feel like there might have been a little bit better option. But they're going to have to figure out something with Tyron Smith long term, because every year he's so good when he's on the field, and that offensive line, when they were healthy, they were good, but then they lost Travis Frederick and then Tyron Smith up and down. It's just what they were is just gone. So I think Dallas should be looking for a new left tackle this season.
We got another underrated signing, in my opinion. The Bears had a pretty good player, Mario Edwards. They cut him. Jaguars signed him up, Lori. It's a pretty good addition because Mario Edwards had a pretty positive grade last year. He was a good run stuffer, couple good pressures from him. I mean, he was one of the few good, like, bright spots on the Chicago defense last year. And Bears like, nope. And I'm like, oh, okay, make your defense weaker. I don't care. So Jags got a good pickup there. I've always liked Mario Edwards. He's kind of that guy that does his job, doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that, like, he had a lot of hype coming out of Florida State, but yeah, that's a good sign. It's a solid signing. Well, I'll let Lori take that one away.
No, they they got Mario Edwards. They got Arden Key, Foye Oluokun from the Panthers.
Good old Josh Allen's there. That nice pass rusher on the edge.
Yeah, like they picked up a good amount of free agent signings.
And Chad Muma.
Yeah, Chad Muma. That pickup. Then throw Devin Lloyd in there. And I don't know if you guys watched Trayvon Walker in the
I did.
in the preseason, man, but I have him taken rookie defensive of the year, man, because I just think that I just think that finally Trent Baalke got it right. So
I wasn't a Baalke guy in San Francisco. I always felt like he was just out of place in San Francisco for a while, and I didn't like that fit. But maybe he's found his spot.
Nobody likes him anywhere.
But yeah, well, he tries to throw everybody under the bus. Apparently,
yeah, that's exactly why. When things go wrong, he just like.
Well, it's not my fault, but I feel like a lot of guys in the NFL are like that. It's like, well, it's not my fault; it's someone else's fault.
It was Jim Harbaugh. He did it. He made this mess.
But but if you look at what he had in San Francisco, is a really good defense. I mean, he had a pretty stacked defensive team.
He put that together too.
Yeah,
so
offensive side of the ball, not so much.
Yeah, they're going to bring back Saxonville though. I'm kind of excited for that.
And that defense, I think, is going to be really good. But the offense is going to go as Trevor Lawrence goes. So I mean, they have some players.
That'll be
People
interesting.
We're sleeping on Zay Jones and Marvin Jones. Just saying.
The Jones is the Jones brothers. Man, Peterson's going to be fun with that offense, man.
Philly special to Trevor Lawrence.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're going to see how they're going to work with the tight end room.
It's the Duval special. That's what they're calling it now. They're going to do a Trevor Lawrence. Perfect. Evan Ingram is there, isn't he?
Evan Ingram's there. Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
He drops a lot of balls, so you're going to see if he's going to be that.
Maybe he's really good at basketball. He makes a good hoop. I mean, you never know.
We'll see.
So the Cardinals extended Jalen Thompson, a really good DB for the Cardinals, and I mean, he's kind of been underrated, but he's come on strong these past couple of years, and he's done really well. So the Cardinals rewarded him with an extension. And Jimmy G is looking in the rearview mirror of Trey Lance. Apparently, the story was Lance was bothered because Jimmy G got a contract to stay in town. So all I picture is him driving, and then the horror movie, Jimmy G shows up, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And the next thing you know, Lance crashes into a tree. Like
that came out that Trey was upset about that.
Yeah, he was bothered by it, and it came out. It was hit NFL Network, ESPN, and they asked him. He's like, "Yeah, I was a little bothered. I thought I was the guy." He even said it in a press conference.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's misconstrued or what, but this is why young players need to stay off social media too, because rumors fly around, misinformation flies around. Then they see that, then they get all pissed off. Then they talk to the coaches, realize it wasn't true. Or then it's kind of like, well, I think my coach was probably lying to me. It's bad.
Well, no, it is weird because like he's in the room still. Well, he's not like he's still on the roster, but he's not in the room. He's not at practices. It's like, what is going on with this guy? Like he didn't know either. Nobody really knew. It is a weird situation.
It is, and it's kind of like the signs point to, holy hell, they don't trust Trey Lance, or they don't think he's ready.
That's exactly what it looks like to me.
No, I don't think so. I think they're scared of what Jimmy G could like. I think a team is going to pick him up that they're going to play against, and Shanahan's a little like, damn, like maybe we shouldn't let him go. I mean, I guess that's a Trey Lance thing, but on the same time, like Jimmy G got them to like pretty far, so it's like you have to make a decision. I guess you guys are.
Yeah. Rumor was he was going to go to Seattle if he was cut, and Seattle. I mean, Jimmy G or Drew Lock or Geno Smith. I mean, which one are you going to take?
I'm not a Jimmy G guy, but I would take him over those two.
Yeah,
all day. That's Trent Dilfer level.
Yeah. You can win with that, and you can develop. You can still have DK Metcalf, and your young guys doing well. So,
if you get Jimmy G, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett up there, and Gerald Everett as a tight end, I think he can be underrated if he has a QB.
Get a decent run game going.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker.
Yeah. But Seattle likes to run the football.
What do you say we get into these picks and start rolling down the board?
Well, I mean, I was trying to segue into there. So I was going to jump into the Jaguars.
Well, I didn't listen. Well, fine. Let's do that.
No, I want to start out. Let's start out with, I mean, it's Wednesday. We did our show on Wednesday just so the game's tomorrow. Nobody wants to watch us when they can watch football tomorrow.
Right? No. How dare they?
Gosh, can't watch both. No, we got a huge game. I'm really excited about this game. The Bills and Rams, and you got two explosive offenses, two good defenses, two good coaches that are highly respected in the NFL, and you got a team coming off a Super Bowl win, and the Bills looking to make that bid. So, like, I'm really excited to see the Bills get a test right away, and the Rams get a test. So, what do you guys think?
We'll let Lori go first.
I'm I'm gonna go with the Rams only because they're home. And I think, I think this stuff with Matthew Stafford and his arm is a little overblown. It's a reason to kind of go, oh, they thought I wasn't ready. Oh, they thought I was hurt. Oh, they thought blah blah blah. Yeah, we're gonna come out firing. I do love Josh Allen though. Like, I think, like I have him going, like even I have. I think this is gonna be the Super Bowl matchup, if I'm honest. Or yeah, that's possible. I was like, wait, is it the AFC? NFC?
Is that a teaser for playoff predictions earlier?
Huh?
Well, is that your teaser for later playoff predictions?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, fine.
But I think the Rams are going to win this one.
We really discussed the NFC in general, and we look at. I mean, the Rams could still honestly repeat because the competition in the NFC is not as deep as it was. I don't want to say not as good, but it's just not as deep. There's not as many teams that will be challenging.
3 years ago, it was way deeper. It completely fell off the last couple of years.
You look at the Packers, you look at the Buccaneers, the rest of it's kind of like, who else is really challenging them right now? I could see
Dallas fans are screaming at you right now. How dare you?
This
Jack got all that money.
We got Jason Peters now. Dave, what do you think about this game?
I'm going to go ahead and pick the Bills. I think McVay was, I don't know. This thing about Stafford's arm is just got me perplexed. I'm on that bandwagon. I know it's silly to follow, but the guy has been throwing even a football like how he does pitching a baseball he did in college, and he's always thrown that sidearm action, and that's such a wear and tear on an elbow. And he's had the last 3-4 years of really bad tendonitis. Well, that elbow I feel like it might give. I mean, I don't know. We're gonna have to see. If I told Bret this, Lori, last week. If I see 3 or 4 balls in the dirt or the turf in that stadium tomorrow night, that's my decision right there. I feel like I have to switch.
You're out on the Rams
because of the fact you go to John Walford if you have the surgery.
No, I agree.
Yeah. So I have to see it to believe it, because every time McVay was asked that at a presser this year, he always just deviated and went to a different thing. So I'm like, McVay's usually straight up. Why is he deviating? Why is he trying not to answer this thing? So that's what bothered me about it. Stafford says, oh, yeah, my elbow's good. The guy played through a broken collarbone when he was younger to beat the Browns in that famous game where he came back in and his shoulder went limp after. He plays through a ton of pain. It's going to be up to McVay to pull Stafford, because Stafford will play through anything.
And if he gets hurt, you got John Wolford or Bryce Perkins behind him. That's one of those things. The starter goes down, your season's just kind of, let's see what we have.
He's there for roster. 4 more years, so it's not like the worst thing if he does go down. Right. I'm not wishing it. I just need to see him put the ball where it needs to be, because if that elbow's acting up, just like Big Ben was those first couple weeks before he got that surgery, you saw it instantly. The ball was going short almost every other 4 or 5 passes. So we'll see. I like the Bills anyway.
You guys are making me want to pick the Bills, man. Because you know what? The Rams kind of come off a little slow anyway. I feel like they take a little bit to get going.
Yeah.
And maybe, the Bills come out firing. The only thing that kind of kept me on the Rams is that they're home, but at this point,
you don't think the Bills are pissed about that 13 seconds still? That's all they've heard all season long.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is waiting to NFL blitz, catch the football on fire, and torch that field. So.
I did not get to watch that game either. I'm so mad.
What? That was like one of the best games in the last decade.
And unfortunately, I was at work and things were I was trying to watch it at work and everything was like falling apart. I didn't get to
you
watch
watched it after though, right?
Yeah. So I just didn't get to watch it live. And I was like, then everyone's talking about the game. Like, oh my God, I missed a great game.
Yeah.
Well, I just think the Bills, though, the only reason I'm going to say the Bills is because their defense. They're getting Jordan Poyer back. They didn't think he'd be ready, but he's active week 1. So their safeties are back. Tre'Davious White isn't there, but when you can have Poyer and Hyde together, it's one of the top safety combos, if not the top safety combo in the league. So
I'd probably say the best safety combo in the league, because those guys, they make plays. They play everything. Play coverage, they play in the run. Mm-hmm. That defense is just underrated. It's good. They have a lot of the thing.
Von Miller's there, defense, so that's a big thing.
Oh yeah, a lot of their defense is made off of castaways.
Right.
Yeah, Their defense is like they're all in to win this year. I'm taking the Bills because
they're playing them this week.
In 2020, they got into a shootout.
No, like tomorrow we have with USA Today, we have the whole staff making our predictions, and that's what I was doing up until literally 8:55 when like you reached out to me like, hey, like you coming? Like, I like hit send and then like I tried to see like, damn, I really want to put my hair down for this, but it ain't happening. I still got my sweet sweat, my band on.
Yes. Yes.
I was not ready for this. Like I came running, but I put down on one of the things like the reason why the Bills are going to go all the way is because they have Von Miller, is because they drafted Kier Elam, at that cornerback position, which he's looking really, really good. So they made those additions. Yeah. I just didn't put 2 and 2 together. That's who they were playing week 1. So, wow.
Although Tre'Davious White is out for the first 4 weeks. So that could be a factor too. However, with that defense and that system, I just don't see it. Them losing this game. I feel like they're going to win this game. I feel like they have the firepower. The last time these two played was 2020. They got into a shootout and the Bills won 35-32. And the first half belonged to the Bills, and the Rams came back in the second half. It was too little, too late.
There was also Jared Goff too. That wasn't Stafford.
And, right. So I honestly think this game's going to be a shootout. I think the Bills are going to win it. I think it's going to be a 30. I said 31-24 kind of game. So I think it's going to be another shootout like that.
I'm thinking like 38-33, 38-34,
34-31. Lock it in.
It's going to be a high scoring game. So here's with the Vegas odds. I don't get much into it, but I don't know what the points are. But I'm probably take the over on these points for this game. I think it's going to be fun. And this isn't your typical Thursday night game. These guys have time to prepare. So let's move on to the next game. That one I wanted to talk about because that one I think there's so much to talk about with that one.
Well, it starts off the season, Brett. I mean,
yeah. Well, so let's talk next game. Falcons Saints. Me personally, I'm gonna
Lori, you can go first.
I'm going Saints.
Yeah, I'm going Saints too.
I'm gonna go Saints, but I still have hesitations about their DBs because they just traded away Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to Philly. They just had Marcus Williams get arrested for aggravated assault with a firearm. So who knows if the NFL is going to slap a suspension on Saturday by that because they're quick on that stuff. You never know when it's coming.
Yeah.
So. But yes, they still have Honey Badger. Marcus Williams, if he plays, it means nothing's happened with the league.
Still have Lattimore too.
But still, you have Roby instead of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who they wanted on the outside. So
I get it. Yeah.
That's a drop. I'm not saying Roby's horrible, but it's a drop in talent.
Yeah.
Gardner-Johnson can play. That dude, he can talk to talk, but he can walk to walk. And I'm going to still take the Saints. Trade. Falcons, they might be a little scrappy. They beat the Saints last year when no one expected it with no wide receivers except Kenny Pitts, Matt Ryan, who with no offensive line in front of him. They beat them last year. So I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'll take the Saints. I'll take them. Well, maybe Jameis has a little rust. I don't know.
No, the Saints have the Bucs number,
It's true.
The Saints always beat the Bucs, I don't know. I see the Saints taking it, and I see the Saints being better than what people think. I think Olave is going to be awesome. And James,
I can't
wait. I have an update on that. He was listed as wide receiver 5 on the depth chart that came out.
Wait, I need to know where you get this information. Like, where do you get your injuries?
It's called So I am covering this all day long on media. OurLads.com they update their depth charts as the team releases them. Yeah. They do it monthly. And
what about the injury stuff though? Where do you get that from?
Oh, I just follow it on Twitter. I literally just follow it on Twitter and I keep it in my brain. Listen, you can ask me who injured,
my brain.
who can. It's like, well, it's weird. I can go ahead and remember all this crap about sports from 10 years ago and everything. You could ask me Brett Favre's numbers and everything else. But the thing is, ask me where an apostrophe or a comma goes, that I have. It's just not happening with me.
I live by that saying that the whole Albert Einstein, if you judge a fish how the climb a tree, it'll live the rest of his life like it's stupid or thinking it's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You ever hear that?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not stupid. I just like football, okay? Maths is boring.
It's how I am. I can look at something with football, memorize it, put it away. It's good to go. I can spit it out later. You can ask me, what is it? The Tale of Two Cities. Who wrote it and what it's about? I don't give a shit. It's just how I am.
You know what? You know who else got chewed up and spit out and is looking for revenge? Baker Mayfield with the Panthers going against the Browns.
Nice segue.
Thank you.
Did you just tell me I got chewed up and spit out by English class? How dare you? But it's true. Okay, let's go.
I'm gonna go with Baker and the Panthers. I think Baker's gonna come on fire, and of course, week 1 they want they wanted this matchup, and yeah, I think Baker's gonna take it. I think Christian McCaffrey is healthy finally, so I think he's gonna have to come on firing. DJ Moore,
jinxed it, Lori. He's not healthy anymore. You just mentioned his name.
DJ Moore is like super underrated, and I think this is going to be, the year that he kind of shuts everybody up because he has Baker Mayfield. So, yeah, I think their defense, their offense is gonna. I think they're going to do pretty well. I think they're going to win this one.
Really good point with DJ Moore with Baker Mayfield. I'm actually really excited for that. And DJ Moore has not really had much to work with with a quarterback, so I'm excited.
And he's
with
produced.
That.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Baker, man, like
he's good.
And not only that, like I love seeing revenge games. I love seeing like people pissed off coming back. I'm ready for this. It's one of the games I'm probably the most excited for. I actually might flip back between the Dolphins game and that game because I really want to see that.
Yeah,
the disrespect to Jacoby Brissett. I'm sorry for Lori for interrupting. The disrespect to Jacoby Brissett. Give me the Panthers.
Gold concrete feet Brissett.
Got a baby giraffe.
Yeah, after watching him last year, there's no way I see the Browns doing much with him.
Who's the worst runner, Jacoby Brissett or Eli Manning?
Oh my God. Oh, I'll say Eli.
Eli would go down if you blew on him.
That's true.
I don't get. That's how I don't make that side topic. I don't get how he made the Super Bowl throw. I really don't. The guy was used because he would. You touch him, he'd fall down. He somehow spun out of 2 or 3 tackles, got out of a scrum, and then just hurled it. And I'm like, what did he do? And usually he just falls down whenever you touch him. So it was just weird to see him make that play. I don't know. Just side topic.
Yeah.
Hey.
Determination, man. Who wants it more?
My big brother's not better than me.
So, next game up. Next one, San Francisco and Chicago. It's going to be the battle of the 2021 quarterbacks. I don't know.
No doubt, obviously, it's going to be San Francisco's going to win this.
All Chicago fans are going to hate you, Lori.
Can we be realistic?
I am realistic, but they're talking up the Bears like they're going to win 8 or 9 games this year.
I think the 49ers win this game, but I don't think it's lopsided. I don't know if it's going to be a lopsided game. I'll put it this way. I think it might be close early on. With
that defense versus that offensive line?
Yeah, you're right, but I just feel like it might be. I think early on, I think it's going to be a close game, but I think San Francisco is going to win the game. I don't know. I could be completely wrong.
Interior defensive line, their interior on their offensive line. I heard rumors now that they might actually play Mustafa and kick out Lucas Patrick, who they had at center, out to right guard. So I don't know what's going on with Tevin Jenkins. I don't know if it's an injury or if maybe trade talks spur up. I don't know. All I know is if you put Sam Mustafa against Nick Bosa on stunts and everything else that comes up the middle, or Fred Warner on blitzes, it's going to get annihilated, like Lori said. But then on the opposite, you've got a horrible defensive line for the Bears. You have Quan Smith by himself with no other linebacker. Jack Sanborn, okay, he looked good in the preseason, but he's never played in a live NFL Week 1 game. And San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan will run the ball down your damn throat. So, yep, the middle of the defense is going to me, it's going to be a highway.
Maybe I'll give Eberflus too much credit. I just feel like he'll have the defense playing, but it's just
But he has talent in Indy when he did that. There's
That's
no
true.
talent on the defensive line.
That's true. That's true.
There's nothing. Akeem Hicks gone. Eddie Goldman gone. Kyrus Tonga, who got drafted last year, gone. Mario Edwards, who was there as a 3-tech defensive end, gone. There's no one. And they're like, we got Justin Jones. He was one of the worst graded run defenders last year, and you just weighed him, put him in a worse spot. So,
Jay, that's their biggest hang up there. If the Bills can't find a consistent run game, especially when it matters to close out games, I think that will be their Achilles heel.
Jay, you're about 5 games behind, brother.
Yeah, but then again, we saw the Packers have because Starks kind of carried that run game. The Chiefs didn't have much of a run game. The Packers' run game was struggling, but they found the run game during the playoffs when they won that Super Bowl, though. So
James Stark showed up.
Yeah, they didn't have a run game before that, though. So, but they found it when it mattered. So, Steelers and Bengals, that game, I think it's the Bengals.
Bengals.
I think it's going to be like a typical AFC North game, but the Bengals win that game. That's going to be, Joe Burrow is probably going to go off.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the Steelers are going to be better than what people think. Like truly, I don't know. I think George Pickens is going to be that third receiver for them. He's going to be awesome. Deontay Johnson, was it Claypool? You have Freiermuth, Najee Harris. Like, come on, man.
Deontay Johnson, they don't know if his shoulders are going to be ready.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They said that annoying shoulder. I saw that article.
She's right, though. Still a ton of talent on that team.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, it's just like it's ridiculous that the Steelers.
The quarterback get the ball though to him. That's the problem.
Right? The Steelers are one of the best run organizations in all of football. They draft and make moves so damn well. They're never in cap hell. They always have money, and they never really blow it. And then they always draft well. And they always have all this young talent.
And Mike Tomlin is always he's always snubbed, man. From like
an amazing coach. The dude is a top 5 coach in the NFL.
Doesn't get the respect.
And Mitch Trubisky is Tommy Maddox when Tommy Maddox got usurped by Ben Roethlisberger, and Kenny Pickett's going to usurp Mitch.
I'm jealous of the Steelers as a Dolphins fan. Like, I love how well they're organized. Like, when they miss, you notice it doesn't hurt them. If they miss on a player, it's like, okay, we missed, we'll make it up. But I agree with you guys. I think the Steelers are going to be pretty good. Like, I don't think this is a blowout, but I think the Bengals are going to go off. I don't think the Steelers are going to be a bad team whatsoever. I think they're going to be the team that you're looking at them. They're like right in the middle, right at mediocre, but it's like they're just a quarterback away. A couple pieces here and there, but plus they still have the best defensive player in the league in TJ Watt. Well, debatable there and Donald, whatever.
Yeah, Minka Fitzpatrick.
TJ's still good. Just saying.
Yeah.
TJ's still TJ.
The freaking monster. Cam Hayward, who's underappreciated.
There you go.
Yeah, God, everything Hayward does is so underappreciated. Every time TJ Watt's talking about it, he mentions Cam Hayward, doing his job. So I love it.
I'm gonna go Steelers by 10 though. I think they win like 34-24. I don't trust in Mitch. I don't have trust in Mitch.
Dude, wait.
Wait. Okay, you said it wrong.
I'm gonna clean out my ears.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bengals are going to win.
Oh, okay.
34-24. My bad.
Trust Mitch, but you think they're going to win by 10? I'm so confused, Dave.
Defense wins champion. No, I think the Bengals are going to win. I think Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. I mean, that's such a good combo right there. I just don't see. And plus, you got Joe Mixon ready to go, and that offensive line has been revamped. They got some pieces put in this year, so. Yeah. I just think the Bengals win by 10. I think the Steelers sure they could show some offensive production, but I just don't think Mitch is the type of quarterback that can keep up with Burrow.
Yeah.
Bengals win by 14.
Bengals win by 14. Ooh, man, I agree with Dave. Like with 10 names, she went even higher. All right.
Yeah, even higher.
So let's move down to South Pennsylvania, to Philly. Against or in Detroit. So
wonder who Lori's picking here.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
The Philadelphia, new city.
That would be like my dad joke, I guess. But yeah, the Eagles definitely. I'm really excited to see AJ Brown, right? AJ Brown.
Yeah, I'm just excited to honestly watch the Eagles. I've never thought I'd say that in my life. They have an intriguing team, to be honest with you. It's not like I think they're going to be like crushed or anything. They just have like an intriguing team. And then growing up in the Philadelphia area, I'm like, I don't watch Eagles. But like they everything they have going on, Nick Sirianni, the way he runs that team, the way like they run the football, the talent that they have at running back. Then they had A.J. Brown to it, and they traded. Somehow Howie Roseman always finds ways to make good moves.
Always.
Like I don't know how he makes a bad move. He make a bunch of bad moves and make a bunch of good moves. Like it's, but his team has a lot of talent. I'm really
Gardner Johnson safety to back there now. I mean,
yeah, that's what they were missing too.
This team's going to go as Jalen Hurts goes. Yeah, but they're going to go as far as Jalen Hurts takes them. But I think the Eagles run away with this game.
Yeah,
I mean, I think the defense is that defense is scary. That front seven is nasty. Hassan Reddick is going to be an underrated pickup for them.
And before Aaron Donald was in the NFL, Fletcher Cox was the best defensive tackle.
I still think he's one of the best.
Yeah, I mean, well, Brandon Graham, dude, like he's always been really good. So I'm glad that he's like kind of back after getting injured.
It's that veteran leadership with young guys around him.
Yeah, definitely. I think, but. You know, they have a new play caller this year. So Nick Sirianni said that his offensive coordinator, Shane Steichen or whatever, I'm not sure how to say his name. Shane, he helped Nick call the plays like towards the second half of the season last year. And that's when Jalen Hurts did his best. In the beginning, it was more like pass heavy and relying on Jalen Hurts. But then they said, okay, Shane came in and decided, like, all right, let's give it more to like Miles Sanders.
Miles
Sanders, yes.
Miles Sanders.
And yeah, they started to do a lot better. And I think that like getting Shane to kind of call plays a little bit earlier, I think it's going to be interesting to see kind of how they start out. So, but definitely they win this game.
They used him a lot like Austin Eckler because Steichen was in LA with the Chargers and Justin Herbert. And it's just, I'm curious to see what they can do with Jalen Hurts because I highly respect Jalen Hurts. I really love one of my favorite games of any prospect was watching him against Baylor. I think he had an interception and a fumble, and where most kids would hold their head. And this is the Big 12 championship game. Instead of hanging his head, he just calm leads them back to win the Big 12. That was just something that I'm like, I know it's just college, and I know it's not like that big of a deal, but that demeanor can't be taught. And Eli Manning had that demeanor. And as much as people want to dog Eli Manning, when the game was on the line, he had that calm demeanor. He could throw an interception and then come back, not pout. Everybody like, oh, he doesn't look like he cares. Like, no, it just doesn't affect him. And he's going to come back and he's going to forget about it, make the play. So I really like that. I'm really curious about that. But I do think the Eagles are going to run. But this next game,
Detroit secondary is going to get worked. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's talking Jeff Okudah up. No. That's
AJ Brown.
Do you know Jameson Williams is playing there?
No, he's out.
Hurt, right?
He's still hurt from the ACL.
He's on the PUP, so he will be out for the first 4 weeks. Not PUP. I'm sorry, the IR.
They have a DJ Chark now from the Jaguars, so
he's on a couple of my fantasy teams in the flex because I think he's going to get some targets.
Now, don't take this as a slight to Detroit by saying the Eagles are going to run. I just think the Eagles are going to start hot. I think the Lions will start slow, but I think the Lions will catch some steam at some point this year. Next, Colts and Texans.
Colts, no doubt. There. I think Matt Ryan finally takes this team to another level. Not like another level, but they were kind of like a quarterback away. And so they're definitely, I see them taking the division. I think Damian Pierce is definitely going to give them a run for their money, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He is an animal. I love the way he runs.
I think it's going to be fun watching.
And don't sleep on Davis Mill, Brandon Cooks. You got Nico Collins. I mean, Nico showed out in preseason, and I like that. I'm not saying it's going to be a close one, but I think Texans maybe could go up in the first quarter, and then Indy finds its feet and gives the ball to Jonathan Taylor, lets him score a couple 90-yard touchdown runs, and then, there you go.
It's going to be you got to think the Colts are very experienced at this point. A lot of their team is now experienced. Yeah, they've been doing this. They've been right in the fight. Even last year when they had a little bit of a rough start to the year, they finished out really strong. So they – like Lori said, they're basically a quarterback away. And to me, Matt Ryan's better than Carson Wentz. by quite a bit.
Don't sleep on Paris Campbell. Remember, he had injured, bad luck the last 2 years, and he's still very highly touted. And
he's a playmaker. He's an run after the catch guy. So I think the Colts run away with this one. It's yes, you're right. The Texans have respectable pieces, and they can keep it on early. But I think the experienced team runs away with this game. But we're all Colts. We're getting kind of boring. We're all picking the same thing.
Well,
week one won't be that predictable. Week one, week one won't be predictable. But let's talk about the game of the week. No, I'm just kidding. It's Dolphins Patriots. In my circles, this has been talked up a lot. I'm going Dolphins. Miami's had really good luck in Miami against Belichick. Although Miami has won the last 3, I think, maybe 4 3 against Belichick. So not many teams have streaks against them, but I don't see it coming to an end week 1. Not just yet. Although Belichick is really good against first-time head coaches.
Yeah, I mean, but he's not good against the Dolphins, right?
That's true.
I'm gonna go the Patriots. I'm sorry, Brett. It's Bill. He's gonna produce a top 10 defense. He always does. The guy, I'm sorry. AJ's like mute. No, I think I can't knock Bill, man. Like, he brought Mac Jones to the playoffs last year. And did you see what Mac looked like in the preseason? It's a goddamn miracle. So, I mean, I just
Nick Saban did it too.
Bill Belichick, I think, can win Sunday, set the tone, and like you said, he has a good record against first-time head coaches. So we'll see. I'm not dissing Mike McDaniels. I think it'll be close, but I just think when you give Bill a run game and a defense, it's just there.
Let me throw this out there. I'm just going to throw it out there.
AJ, what?
Vince Talk Network, Dave. I would not be surprised to see the Dolphins if they lose.
They hired me, Brett.
I won't be shocked like, we lost. Lori, what do you think? Who are you going with here?
It's tough. Dave, do you think that the Dolphins just like take a little bit to
they added a lot of talent. Mike McDaniel is going to have to install his culture. Yes, he had training camp and preseason to do that, but
it still takes time.
Exactly. You got to gel. They added a bunch of pieces. They're really nice pieces, but you got to gel. I mean, that's my thing. Is Tua and Tyreek going to be in sync in game week 1 when you got that defense from Bill bearing down on you? And the defense for Miami looked a little iffy in that preseason game when Tua was playing. So what's going to happen when you got Patriots front 7 coming down on
you? Yeah. I don't know.
I just always think like, Bill because it's just Bill.
Is this the first game like we're stumped on? Because I feel like the other ones are pretty easy.
Yeah, the other ones are pretty easy. I'm gonna go with Miami just because, like, have they figured out that offensive play calling yet? Like, what is going on there? Like,
in New England.
Yeah, New England.
With the 2 guys that one was a
Joe Judge, Matt Patricia. Joe Judge, Matt Patricia.
It reminds me of when Andy Reid assigned Juan Castillo to be the defensive coordinator, offensive line coach, be defensive coordinator. Like, I'm so confused.
How bad the other side was.
Right? Yeah. Like, what's going on? Like, this is your best option. Yeah, I think that's going to be their Achilles heel with New England. But it is hard to just discount Bill Belichick. He's just been.
It is hard to discount him, but at the same time, I think like there's so much hype with the Dolphins right now and Tyreek. They're like, I think they come out firing, and it'll probably be too much to maybe come back from.
Might be.
But yeah, I mean, if it's left up to Tua, that's gonna be a rough one. But
that's my point.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with the Dolphins though.
Pat's 23-20. That's what I'm calling.
Oh, at least it's not a blowout.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins though.
Now, speaking of blowouts, Ravens and Jets.
Joe Flacco revenge game. How dare you?
Oh my God! How could we forget about that revenge game? I'm going
Joe
Ravens
Flacco goes off for 5 touchdowns this weekend, I'm just gonna stop watching football. I'm done. I'm turning in my hat.
I would be shocked, but I'm definitely going Ravens on this one, man. I know it'd be fun to watch Joe Flacco play his former team and all that stuff, but I'll go on Ravens. This should be a lopsided win to me.
Lamar Jackson, 4 touchdowns, 3 passing, 1 rushing, and he looks at DaCosta and says, "You gonna pay me?" So that's what I think happens.
Lori?
The Ravens.
Ravens. That was the easy one.
Yeah, you were quiet there. Were you really going to take the Jets?
No, absolutely not.
Sidebar.
I got my boss messaging me about all 22 this year, so I kind of wanted to. Yeah, I wanted to get back to him.
All 22 is fun.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited for this season. You know, I'm gotta go all out. So.
Shout out, folks. Lori does great film clips.
Yes.
I always retweet them whenever I can. She does great work.
Man. Thanks, man. I'm going to try to do so many teams this year.
They'll try to do all 32?
All 32 with all 22. 32, 22.
She said specifically Dallas is going to be her main target.
I got an old co-host who's a Dallas fan, and my best friend's a Dallas fan. So.
My dad's a Dallas fan. I have to put up with it. So, yeah.
But the next game on this list, sidebar real quick, Lamar Jackson. I think he could go off the season just because he wants to get paid. I could see it. But, Lori, this is your game, right? Jaguars and Washington. Commanders, such a stupid name. I hope they lose just because of that name.
For real. Why didn't they just keep the Washington football team? Honestly.
It was better than Commanders.
It was a name. Like
Red
it was
Wolves
unique.
or Red Tails. They had so many cool names.
I like the Red Wolves. I would have loved that. That's just
Red Tails, man. Yeah, so many cool. Anyway, we're going to go on a tangent on that one. What do you guys think? Lori, I'm going to let you take this one. Jaguars. All right.
Jaguars. No question. They're going to kill Carson Wentz.
Oh my God.
They're going to start off how they ended last season, knocking his D in the dirt.
They beat him last week to knock him out of the playoffs.
I would not be surprised to see Jacksonville just come out and everybody like, oh my God, the Jaguars are for real. Dave, what do you think?
They're only giving the Washington Commanders 2.5 points at home. I'm going to go Jacksonville. Ooh. I think T-Law goes off. I think you're going to have the Jones brothers have a couple pair of tutties. I think the defense shows up. I think that people are going to be like, oh, crap, Jacksonville's turning into Saxonville again, like Lori said. So I'm going to take Jaguars. I think Washington has the offensive weapons. If they can provide Carson some time, they've got Scary Terry. You got Jahan Dotson. You got Logan Thomas. There's people there who can produce, but does he have the time if Jacksonville's down his throat? So we'll see.
I think James Robinson and Travis Etienne are going to go off. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have himself a game. And I think they're going to go – I think the Jaguars are going to win this game. I think they're going to be the surprise of the week. I think they're going to be what NFL Network are all talking about. I think it's going to be – I don't want to say a lopsided win, but I think it's going to be definitely a convincing win for the Jaguars. I think they're just going to run away with this.
That's my lock right there.
That's your lock? Oh.
Jacksonville over Washington.
Oh, whoa. Lock of the week.
That's one of two of my locks.
Oh, man.
Really?
All
That's a lock of the week for you?
Yes.
Not Baltimore and the Jets?
No, because that's just too easy. That's like stealing a lollipop from a baby walking down the street. It's thanks. No, I feel, I don't know. I like Jacksonville's mantra and the aura they have with Peterson. I like it, what they have going on. Everyone's just blowing them off to the side. And I feel like Trevor Lawrence, he was really good in college. He won a natty. Like he's not just some bum. And like Jay's going to hate me for this, but he's like, everyone over the height of 6'6" doesn't produce in the NFL. I'm like, oh my God, really? Trevor Lawrence was a good quarterback in college. I think he can produce in Jacksonville. He's shown it in the preseason. He can sync up with his receivers, no problem. Yeah, he had a rough year last year, but he had a coach that was kicking players. So, I mean, kicking a kicker. But I just think that was such a black cloud over Jacksonville. Peterson brings this new shine of light on them, and I just feel like that they're being slept on a little bit. And Washington is talented. Update: Chase Young re-aggravated his ACL surgery that he had, so he doesn't look like he's going to be back anytime soon.
Yeah, Washington just doesn't look like they're really. I like Ron Rivera, what he's done, respect what he's done there, but it doesn't look like they're going to be any better.
Yeah.
Now, keeping it in the NFC East, Giants at Titans. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Titans going to run away with this one. Titans win this game.
Does Saquon make it interesting?
Very possible. I just don't think the Giants did enough to improve themselves to even compete with the Titans this early in the season.
This is a tough game.
I feel like Titans defense is still vulnerable. Like they just lost Harold Landry, and that's a big loss on the edge for them. And Saquon has something to prove. He hasn't played a solid 2 years.
No,
and he wants to come back and prove it. I'm not saying they're going to have this. Oh God, because Daniel Jones is so bad. I just feel like Saquon could take over the game, but at the same time, he can have an 80-yard run and then get tackled at the 10-yard line. Daniel Jones trips over his own feet, somehow coughs the ball up and gets a return.
I think Titans defense forces a lot of turnovers in this game.
Yeah, I'll go with the Titans. Robert Woods has a game to make people remember he's still good.
Lori?
I don't know. Did the Titans do enough to stay on the same level after they lost their best offensive weapon outside of Derrick Henry?
Good question.
No, but they'll probably still be the Giants.
Decent, but
maybe long term, but right now, I don't think so. Maybe in a couple years, Traylon Burks turns out to be the guy.
Yeah.
Austin Hooper, underrated tight end edition in Tennessee too. That's another one.
Yeah. And then you got Tannehill versus Daniel Jones, if you really think of it that way. I'll go with the more experienced team.
The last two first-round draft picks for the Giants too were injury.
I was moving on. I like Tannehill. I just don't.
I'll take the Titans, but I'm just not going to be a yay Titans. It's Daniel Jones.
Yeah, same.
All right, Titans. Right, Titans across the board. Man, I was going to say that was one of my locks, but man, you guys seem like non-committed on that one. So Chiefs at Cardinals. This ought to be a fun game.
Chiefs.
All right. Well, that was the easy one for Dave.
I don't trust Kyler Murray. DeAndre Hopkins isn't there to support Kyler. He's the safety net.
Yeah, but Kyler is better in the regular season than he is the playoffs.
That's fair.
Yeah, but he needs film time, and his contract doesn't have it anymore.
I thought it was funny that they let him call the plays because of all that shit. He was probably talking like, dude, it's not about film. It's about you calling the plays. You suck at it. They're like, oh, yeah, you think you're so good? How about you call them? And then he's like, oh, man, this is hard. Oh, really? Duh. Yeah, I know it's hard.
That's why
it's not easy.
Guys, like Peyton Manning was the way he was for a reason. He was great for a reason. It wasn't easy.
I do think James Conner is going to have a game. I always love watching James Conner, and I feel like Chiefs defense lacks there. I think James Conner is going to have a day.
Chiefs defense is going to get after you once they have a lead. That's when their defense shines. Their defense doesn't shine when they're
tied. That's when it's rough. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think Arizona can put up points. I just don't trust Kyler in the clutch versus Mahomes.
You know what? I think the Cardinals could upset the Chiefs.
I feel the same way. It's tough. It's tough to pick them, but I think that they have a chance like early on because it may take Andy Reid a couple games to kind of get used to not having Tyreek Hill. I think in the end, the Chiefs are going to be better, probably.
Yeah, it's about the whole gelling process. And, I mean, Tyreek Hill opened up a lot for other receivers and Kelsey because of that, because of speed over the top. I mean, Marquez Valdes-Scantling is nowhere near what Hill is. I mean.
You know what? But I'm taking Cardinals in the upset of the week.
I'll be my lone wolf.
Oh, mark me down.
Oh, damn. Look at that.
Lone wolf here.
Give the Chiefs.
Oh,
you're the lone wolf. Yeah, you're the lone wolf.
I'll stand
Lori, virtual high five.
Listen, I'll stand with Pat Mahomes, but I see his stupid brother do one more goddamn TikTok.
Oh my god,
slapping the shit out of him.
So we alluded to the Chargers and Raiders earlier. J.C. Jackson's not playing. How does that affect your picks?
I mean, you got Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, Devontae Adams.
Ooh, yeah. But they still got Derwin James, who's still
can't stay healthy a full season.
It's fair, but he's wearing number 3 now. He cut his dreads off, so I mean, he was one of my favorite players coming out of college.
Chris Harris was like, I feel like he lost his step too. Like when he went from Denver to LA, I feel like he lost his step. He's still good, but I don't feel like I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like they're good. I just don't feel like the Chargers defense needs to prove it on the front seven. They added Khalil Mack. I mean, you're getting Kenneth Murray back from injury.
Mm-hmm.
So
and you got you still have oh my God, I am drawing a blank. Holy hell.
Joey Bosa?
Yes, Joey Bosa and
see, wavelength. I got you, brother.
I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, remember these guys, that final game of the regular season, and if it ended a tie, they both would have made the playoffs, and then that's going to be really interesting. And this could end up being the game of the week, in my opinion, or one of the best games of the week. I think this is going to be a shootout again. I'm going to take the Chargers. And I think they're going to get the revenge for week 18 last year. That loss, I think it's going to be a
Staley
fight,
specifically, because he made the dumbest decision ever.
Right. And he's a smart guy. I actually have a lot of faith that he'll actually be a good coach. But I'm taking the Chargers. And I can't wait to watch that game.
I think I'm going to take the Chargers too. This is tough though. This is the same as it's the same as the division's going to be tough. You know, you can be blindfolded and throw a dartboard to see who's going to win, and nobody wouldn't be surprised if either team.
This division is one of the divisions that if someone said who they think will win the division, I'm not even going to ask them to explain it, because it's not like there's anybody that can run away with it or surprise, because I think all four have a chance to win this division.
I'm going to go the Chargers because of, even though they're missing J.C. Jackson, but I feel like it's because the Raiders secondary has so many questions. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest problem. And when you got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Josh Palmer, they're all legitimate threats. And Austin Eckler out of the backfield, I just feel like that's the killer right there. I mean, I think the Chargers can still have weapons in the secondary. They still have weapons in the front seven, the pass rush.
The Chargers are a little better defense. So
Raiders they can keep up offensively, but their defense, their defensive line and pass rush are solid. Their secondary, the linebackers.
Oh, yep. So wrapping it up here. So, man. All right, so Dave, we got to pick this one. So, Laura, are you taking the Vikings or the Packers?
She would pick the Vikings.
I'm going to take the Packers here, but I do think the Vikings are going to be good this season because of Kevin O'Connell. But they're not going to beat the Packers.
No. I can't wait to see what they do with Kirk Cousins. I as much crap as Kirk Cousins has taken in his career, as much hell as he's taken, I think he deserves some respect, but Packers win this. Next one. So, no, I'm just messing with you.
Whoa. No, I think the Vikings actually, I mean, they've got Thielen and Justin Jefferson. I think Irv Smith can make some noise. Dalvin Cook in a new offense where they run the ball to set up play action. Holy Mike Zimmer, roll over in your grave. You're going to be in it about 15 years. So I just think, I think the Packers can take it. I think they'll win by 10 because of the defensive advantage. Yes, the Vikings added some new pieces. Zadarius Smith, you salty man.
No. But I actually didn't realize they added him.
Yeah, they added him, but the thing is can he stay healthy? He had a really bad back injury last year, and it kept him out all the way up until the divisional playoff game.
Really like the Smith brothers in Green Bay together. I did like those two.
Rashawn Gary, I feel like he's going to have a breakout year this year. I feel like it's going to – he was top 5 all pressures last year, but I feel like this is his year where he ends up with 12, 13 sacks, shows he's there, but just not even that. Quay Walker, Devontae Wyatt are playing next to Devondre Campbell, Kenny Clark inside. That's new pairings. I mean, the secondary with Rasul Douglas, Jair, Eric Stokes, Amos. The only question mark I have on that defense is Darnell Savage. That's it. It's the only one because he has trouble recognizing certain routes and coverage zones, which he has to designate if he ever has to. But my underrated guy for that team, Jarron Reed. Watch out for him. I think he may be a underrated signing for that team. Packers win by 10, like I said before, 34-24, 37-27.
And I think that's fair. I think the Vikings have better weapons right now. Packers have the better quarterback, but I think it's going to be a fun game, like close game. I do think the Packers win it. I think it'd be one of like close all the way to the end, and then the Packers just kind of separate at the end.
The Vikings offensive line still bothers me. That's my problem with Kirk is Josh Wingate. I saw cough Homer. Isn't he a Dallas fan?
Josh, we'll find out if you're a Homer on this next one.
Yeah,
Josh really isn't a Homer though. So next one. Thanks, Josh, for the segue. Thank you. I appreciate that, buddy. Buccaneers and the Cowboys. Could the Buccaneers be on upset alert with everything going on? Their offensive line is bad. We just talked about Micah Parsons and how good he is. I'm not saying Dallas has like this elite defense, but they want to get after it. I mean, what do you guys think?
Chris Godwin's on track to play. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
He is on track to play.
That surprises me, honestly. I mean, because he got hurt so late in the season, so.
Cowboys by a million. Yeah, not a homer, huh? Laura, you go ahead first.
This is tough, man, because I don't know is Tom Brady ready? Does he have to be ready? He's been doing this for so long. But because we all know him as a player, we know that he kind of gets into a slow start. He knows that all he has to do is get into the wild card, and that's all he needs in order to take it all the way. So it's not like he really even cares about the beginning of the season. What's going on with that offensive line? Is Godwin playing? But on the other hand, you look at the Cowboys and like their receivers, like you're putting it all on CeeDee Lamb. They got rid of a lot of guys.
Jalen Tolbert looks nice. I will give him that. He does look good.
And Gallup's not ready, right?
He's not right. Yeah. It's tough to go against Tom Brady here, but I don't know. I think the Cowboys may actually win this game.
Whoa.
I know.
I can't. My problem is Dallas still has questions at secondary. Trayvon Diggs, I like that he gets interceptions, but he also gives up a full year of 1,000 yards almost.
Yep.
He's a boomer bust quarterback. He likes to go for the pick. He gets beat a lot doing it. And Tom doesn't throw a lot of balls that gets intercepted. That's the problem. And you got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Oh, look, a nice Julio Jones as wide receiver 3. I mean, I think Cameron Brate, Kyle Rudolph, they can easily manipulate the bad offensive line interior and still do the quick passes. I just don't think I trust the Bucs defense way more than I do Dallas's. Their front seven on Dallas, I love it. Their secondary, still got questions. Bucs secondary, front seven, linebackers, I'll take all day. So I'm taking the Bucs.
Didn't these two teams start off the season last year?
Yep, and Tampa won.
Yeah. And so I'm actually going with Dallas. So
second time level up, I'll take it.
Because DeMarcus Lawrence, we talked about Micah Parsons, but DeMarcus Lawrence is still an underrated somehow defensive end. He gets it done. I like Osa Odigizua, Neville Gallimore. I like their interior defensive line. The underrated signing of Anthony Barr. Not sure might not be the same guy he was, but I do like Anthony Barr there, and I think they have enough talent to actually get after.
He's better than Leighton Vander Esch.
And then Malik Hooker, obviously, if he can stay healthy. I don't like Jaron Kearse so much back there, but really like Malik Hooker when healthy. He could be a stud. I actually think Dallas upsets the Buccaneers here. I know I've been picking some upsets, but I actually like Dallas in this one. And I at the end of the day, I think Dallas's run game might actually help with Dak and Zeke. And I like Dak a lot. I think he carries his team. And regardless of who his receivers are, he always seems to find a way to step up. So I think Cowboys will win this game. I think it'd be a tight game.
Terrible though. Come on, man.
What?
Zeke looks terrible though.
Yeah, he does, but Zeke is always
Pollard
better.
Is about to explode this year.
Yeah, I think Pollard's going to have a good season, but Zeke has always been better when Dak is on the field. Since Dak has been drafted, that's the way I've always seen it. Yeah, I like Kearse, but like I don't really. I think Brady can exploit him over the middle. But I
can't go against the GOAT. I can't.
Yeah,
yeah.
and I
mean,
understand
Zeke had an MCL sprain, but at the same time, he was still running directly into his offensive line.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't finding the open spaces like he used to. He's not the same
vision.
player.
Yeah.
So he likes to press the lanes and then try to get the flow to keep flowing and then try to cut back. But I don't know if he just wasn't seeing the cutback like he normally does, or if he's just too slow to get to the cutback.
He gets the explosion a little bit too.
Dallas' offensive line. I mean, they let a lot of offensive linemen go, and that's what happens now, especially when you get injuries. Oh crap, we don't have a left tackle. You have to go get Jason Peters, and you have to worry about where you're putting Tyler Smith. I mean, Zach Martin's still a stud. Don't get me wrong, but I don't trust Bia Diaz from Wisconsin. He has some snapping issues every now and then from Wisconsin.
Biotis might be a better guard long term than a center, but he's not like.
Of course, you disagree, Josh. You're a Dallas fan.
But he does have a point. Like some of that burst he lost, but at the same time, is he going to get that back? That's
he's right. His vision, though, he used to wait for his lanes to create and go. He did even with a sprained MCL. You still have your mentals.
I wonder if he's second guessing his knee.
Mike McCarthy will wear a running back down. I watched it with Eddie Lacy. He did it over and over again.
Murray too, right?
Yep.
So
Murray wore down as well in Dallas. So I mean, it wasn't with McCarthy, but I've seen this McCarthy offense firsthand for over a decade. So that's why I'm like, he doesn't change. The guy says, "Oh, I've adapted my offense." No, you haven't, dude. It's the same exact thing you ran in Green Bay. That's why Rodgers can pick apart the defense because he's going to have say in the defense. I'll guarantee it.
He runs the quarterback more here in Dallas.
Kellen Moore.
Monday Night Football, another revenge
game. Worst game of the week. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't.
Broncos and Seahawks. And we know why they're putting this game on there. I think Dallas and Tampa would have been a better one. Chiefs, Cardinals. There's so many better options to put Monday night. But obviously the whole story behind it. ESPN loves the stories. Russell Wilson.
They love Russell.
Yeah, Russell's going in the Broncos. I think I'm going to run with this.
Yeah, like why is this a Monday night game? The Seahawks are terrible.
Every Monday night game has been horrible the last couple of years. They always like this super seed team and horrible team against.
And to be honest with you, I like Russell Wilson and the Broncos, but I don't think they're as good as people are saying they are. I don't think it's going to be a pretty game though. I think the Broncos run away with this though.
You know what, Dave? I think that the Thursday night games are starting to make a run for the Monday night games money. Honestly, I think they're starting to be better because remember back in the day, like when Thursday night games started, they were terrible.
Lopsided.
It was like the only good thing about it was the color rush. Now they don't do that anymore, and like it's actually better games.
Well, they focus on the wrong things. They're focused on the aesthetics. Now they're saying like they're looking at it. Well, we had like the teams that weren't like in the Monday night games, which are usually the better teams. They were usually the lesser teams, and they were trying to put them in the spotlight. It just wasn't working. And then they're trying to, everybody's going to get one. Now they're like, what matchups can we do? The problem with Thursday night games is the road team has a losing record by a lopsided margin. That's the biggest problem with Thursday night. If they could find a way to settle that, like Thursday night after a bye week, that would probably settle that down a little bit. That's just a thought.
I still think if they're doing Sunday to Thursday, why not do, I'm just saying, I mean, why not have Tuesday night games? Because if you're going to do 4 days in between that, I'm just saying.
The fantasy, though, they have to put their bets in. They need time to put in their bets. You know what I mean?
I mean, I agree, Josh. I would have loved the Green Bay Minnesota Monday night game. I would have loved it.
Oh yeah, that would have been.
Yeah.
But they're always, whenever they're scheduled, they're always 4:30 every Sunday for week 1. Anytime they play, they're always 4:30. It's rarity they're ever 1 o'clock. It's always 4:30 or Sunday night football with them.
It must be nice to not be 1 o'clock.
Right,
that's all the Jaguars ever are. 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock.
Be better, Lori.
That's all the Dolphins really are. Look, no one wants to watch.
Sorry, next time, I'll
Carson Wentz getting beat up. Why do I want to watch that?
So,
yes, we're picking the Broncos.
We're all going Broncos here.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel so bad for DK and Tyler Lockett. They had Russell all last year and the year before, and they're like, "Oh shit."
Well, we had all show. We went over a little bit, but that's okay. We did our picks, and we had a little fun doing it. But I have one question for Lori. The first game, did we ever decide if we're going Rams or Bills?
Oh,
Ooh, she tried to skate by without making a pick.
I wrote them both down with a question mark.
I think I switched back to Buffalo. I think I'm gonna go with Buffalo. You know, it was the Rams, but
I think the wagons, baby. And as a Dolphins fan, it pains me to say it. I think Buffalo has a really, really good chance to win it all this year. But I think this is their window of opportunity. And Josh Allen is one hell of a quarterback. Holy hell, he's talented.
Yeah. That turned 13-second.
They're going to come out with their hair on fire from it. Yeah.
But we
come out on fire.
We have a lot of situations week one. I just want to say this before we wrap up. We have Baker Mayfield, a lot of storylines with Baker Mayfield going back against his former team. We have Justin Herbert and the Chargers looking for revenge, looking to bounce back from that loss against the Raiders. They finished the season last year with that loss, and now they get to start the season against that same team at home. You have, Russell Wilson going back home. You have you have the Bills after that 13-second debacle, and now they have a chance to marinate on that and say, hey, this is our year. So there's a lot of stuff like that this week one.
What better way to go off on the Super Bowl champs?
Right, yeah. And you know what? That makes a statement right there. But I've seen a lot of Bills fans saying, hey, we have to do this every week. We have to come out and kick ass and take names every single week. You can't be a hold up against the Jaguars that they did last year, So, and to Jay's point, if they find a run game, they can be successful. That's been their Achilles heel. So if they find themselves a run game, which I really like the kid they got out of Georgia, James Cook. Yep. So that's a scary combination with him and Singletary. That could be really scary. And James Cook already runs a bigger pissed off version of his brother Dalvin. So that they could be, and we talked about Gabe Davis.
Does he have the health of his big brother?
Right, that's true. So I'm looking forward to this week. There's a lot of fun matchups. I don't say a lot. There's a few good matchups that we're looking forward to. So, Dave, your lock was who?
It was Jaguars over Washington, and my other one was obviously I'm not gonna pick Green Bay over Minnesota. That'd just be complete homer. Yeah, but it was a Baltimore over the Jets.
Yeah, that's an obvious one. It's too easy. My upset is the Cardinals. and my lock for this week is the Panthers over the Browns.
Yeah, I guess the Jaguars would be my upset.
The Jaguars are you upset?
I guess that's an upset, right?
I don't know.
2.5.
Washington has the points at 2.5, so.
But they're home. Don't they already give the home team 3? So
the fact that they're already giving 5 points to Jacksonville.
Yeah, I don't know if that's an upset. Yeah, that's a tough one. You can't
pick an upset as that game when I have a lock, Laura. You're making me look bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't have to have one. I just want to see if you had one while we're going.
The Eagles are my lock, though.
That's
an easy lock, though.
You think?
The Detroit Kitties get mowed over.
That's true. I could put that on upset alert just because you never know with the Lions, but yeah, I think the Eagles win that game.
They had, 7-8 games they lost by only 3 points last year, and it came down to overtime in a couple of them.
And their run game, I mulled over that for a little bit, and I'm like,
DeAndre Swift.
The Eagles are going to win that game.
Yeah.
You never know.
No, I think Jalen Hurts. I think Dallas Goedert's going to be the best thing for that offense because you're going to have AJ Brown pulling coverage on one side, Devontae Smith on the other, and there goes Goddard straight up the middle of the seam.
Yeah, that team has a lot of weapons, man. All right, that's it for us, guys. Week 1 is going to kick off tomorrow in less than 24 hours. Football is back. I hope you guys are just as excited as me. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button. And make sure you follow our sponsor, Badass Beard Care. That wasn't me. That's probably one of the producers. Veteran Run Beer Company. Make sure you check them out, please. Thank you for sponsoring us, guys. Thanks for watching. Dave, as always, Lori, thank you so much for coming on once again. We'd love to have you. You're welcome back anytime. That's it for us, guys. Until next week. Later.